often asked, what is a menopause retreat? It may sound pretty obvious, but actually it's still a very new concept. It's never actually been done before, so I feel it needs a little bit of explanation. So if you just bear with me for a few minutes, I'll talk you through what actually happens at one of our amazing retreats. When I was formulating the idea of menopause retreats, I kept asking myself what I might like and how much would I be prepared to pay for it. I firstly investigated what was available already, and yes, you could head to a yoga retreat in Turkey or somewhere lovely and exotic like that. However, yoga retreats just form a small piece of the menopause jigsaw puzzle of education, and some yoga retreats can cost in excess of £2,000. Plus, you might have to share a room with a complete stranger and a bathroom. To me, that's not ideal. Then I discovered that there were private GPs out there specialising in menopause, and they can be very costly indeed, charging around £250 for an initial consultation and even £95 for a 15-minute telephone call. This seems somewhat for the elite, or you might borrow the money and then place yourself in financial hardship, which would certainly not help with anxiety issues. When you think about how much it would also cost to have a course of HRT, the costs keep piling up. Sadly, NHS GPs have very little training on this subject, and when I went to discuss heart palpitations several years ago with my own GP, he wanted to prescribe me antidepressants, even though I wasn't depressed. Unfortunately, it's all too common for perimenopause and menopause women to be treated with antidepressants, which is clearly not ideal in my opinion. My underlying anxiety, and something that I've never experienced before, was clearly a symptom, and perimenopause was not discussed or even mentioned, and I was 44 at the time. So you'd think that would have been a great time to open up the topic of discussion and education. Education amongst medical professionals, thanks in part to the British Menopause Society, is getting better, but it is very hit and miss. When I really thought through the retreats, I talked to many experts and professionals within my own network, and we decided that there were 4 core elements that had to be covered within our retreats, and this would enable women to feel uplifted and empowered as well as educated. This is a very complex issue. It's a topic that's been surrounded by taboo, and one that our mothers and our grandmothers wouldn't have talked about. In fact, they may have said, "You just get on with it, darling." And there have been some very worrying treatments throughout history, and of course, in the most part, we were just considered as mad women. In fact, some of us probably still are. We understand menopause is different for all of us, and many of you watching this may be still experiencing periods, perhaps in your 40s. You might think you're too young, but you might already be experiencing symptoms like brain fog and forgetfulness, as I did at 44, irregular periods, breast pain, and more commonly, hot flushes. This fluctuation from hot to cold is very common. So having spent a long time thinking it all through, we designed what we felt was the perfect retreat, and one that would suit women either perimenopausal, the lead up to menopause, or postmenopausal, after menopause. After all, just because our periods stop and we become postmenopausal, this can go on for a long time, indeed, actually until we die. But I think we better keep that to ourselves and not alert our husbands to it just yet. They might get a little bit worried. So to start with, we introduce you to restorative yoga. And it really doesn't matter if you've never experienced yoga before. Our teachers are qualified and trained, and women of a certain age who just get the mature body. There are certain things that we all just can't do now that we may have been able to do in our 20s and 30s. Our bodies just aren't so bendy. Yoga is proven to help well-being and can also help bone strength and can overcome some anxiety disorders. So you have a very gentle start to your day with us. Then we talk in detail about diet and nutrition and we've joined forces with women's health guru and founder of the natural menopause movement, Marion Stewart. If you Google her, you'll find that she's a very credible source of information, having written 27 self-help books and has carried out a multitude of studies to back up her claims. There is no question that our modern lives have the biggest impact on our menopause, and negative symptoms can come from poor diet, lack of exercise, and most importantly, stress. After a wonderful lunch with us that shows you just how tasty, good, nutritious food can be, with menus designed and nurtured by the menopause chef, Sabrina, you'll then meet our nurse. We have an army of nurses, all trained and qualified of course, with a specialist interest in menopause. And she'll explain in more detail what's actually happening to our bodies biologically, and show us how important hormones are and the role that they play. She'll also be armed with samples of products that will certainly come in useful, and she'll go through the pros and cons of HRT, busting myths associated with it. We believe that enjoying a good menopause is possible, and we remain unbiased. For some women, natural remedies and/or HRT work separately or in harmony. We feel it's a woman's choice, and we all just need up-to-date information from experts who know what they're talking about, at a price that's affordable and represents great value. Then we can all make informed decisions that are right for us, without judgment. Our mental health and well-being is truly the most important part of menopause. In fact, in my opinion, the most important part of living. This change to our biology can cause us to experience extreme anxiety, depression, mood swings, feelings of disorientation, and much more. At the retreat, you'll spend 90 minutes with one of our skilled and experienced psychotherapists, whose heart and soul belongs to good mental health. She'll talk you through your feelings and show you how, in an interactive way, to best deal with these issues as they arise, offering you techniques that are simple to learn and that you're able to put into practice at home long after the retreat. I've seen it for myself. Our retreats can be life-changing for some, and for others, life-affirming. The price of a retreat, starting from less than £200, we feel, with everything that we include for you, represents the best value for money. And it offers you something that money can't buy, peace of mind. The valuable knowledge that you will find with us will also help your partners, loved ones, and your friends, and massively improve your relationships. They will better understand you as you better understand yourself. We want to make menopause a word that makes us feel good, not bad. We love putting the cool into menopause. My children can't bear it when I say that. I truly hope to meet you at one of the retreats really soon, but for now I send you a big squeezy hug from all of our team at Fountain Retreats.